In this video, we'll walk you through installing the Pawport Tunnel and Frame System. Please note that this installation requires the use of power tools and professional installation is strongly recommended. Let's get started. For framed wall installations, determine the stud placement in your walls. The tunnel is most easily placed between two existing studs. Be sure there are no electrical, plumbing, gas, or HVAC components in the location. Pawport requires at least 13 inches of clearance between studs. For exterior door installations, skip ahead to 952 for instructions. When determining a location to install the tunnel and frame system, please note the required clearance zones around the wall opening as shown. To open the SmartPet door to the maximum range of 120 degrees, ensure these zones maintain a minimum clearance of 9 inches in front of the wall, free of any obstructions, furniture, baseboards, cabinets, doorways, etc. For framed wall installations, align the opening A to one of the studs B as shown. Cut the drywall or plaster, exterior sheathing, and siding to the dimensions provided. Use the included tunnel cut template to help mark your cut location. Ensure that all cuts are level and square. The height off the floor of the opening, C, is determined by the size of the pet. It's best to align the opening so that the pet doesn't need to crouch to fit through, but also not so high that they need to jump. For exterior door installations, cut the opening to the exact measurement as indicated on step 1. Proceed to 952 for exterior door installation instructions. Once the opening has been made in the wall, it will likely reveal a patch of insulation. Cut and remove insulation from the area shown. Identify the indoor side tunnel section and frame. The indoor side tunnel section is marked with the letter A and has a small overlap at the top right corner. The short top piece should sit under the long top piece, creating an overlap of about an inch. The indoor frame has a long mounting hook on one side and is also marked with the letter A. Line up the holes on the indoor side tunnel section with the holes on the indoor frame. Affix the indoor side tunnel section to the indoor frame using 11 of the M3 screws and a Phillips head screwdriver. Ensure the notch on the indoor frame is facing up. The outdoor side tunnel section is marked with the letter C and has a small overlap at the top left corner. The short top piece should sit over the long top piece, creating an overlap of about an inch. The outdoor frame has magnetic trim that is pre-installed and is also marked with the letter C. Pull off the magnetic trim and the trim cap from the outdoor frame and place them to the side. Line up the holes on the outdoor side tunnel section with the holes on the outdoor frame. Affix the outdoor side tunnel section to the outdoor frame using 11 of the M3 screws and a Phillips head screwdriver. Ensure the notch on the outdoor frame is facing up. If your wall stud spacing is 16 inches on center or greater, it is recommended to add blocking to reduce the width of the opening to 13 inches. On a typical 16 inches on-center framed wall, this means adding a standard framing stud as blocking that matches the existing framing studs. For example, a 2x4, 2x6, or 2x8 in most cases. Using the same material as the framing studs, cut a piece of blocking the same height as your tunnel opening and secure to the wall stud on the interior of the opening. This will provide a secure location to screw the tunnel to. If your stud spacing is greater than 16 inches on center, more blocking may be required. If you choose to not add blocking, the frame will mount into studs only on one side, and the floating side can be anchored to the wall using drywall anchors. If you plan to install an optional Pawport outdoor pet door or exterior sensor, it's highly recommended that you now roughly position the pairing wire that is included with either product. Either pairing wire may be added later if you are not sure. Use tape to position the pairing wire at the top middle of the opening on both sides of the wall. Refer to the manual for proper wire orientation. It is recommended to use a silicone sealant on the back flange of the outdoor frame. Do not apply silicone sealant to the bottom flange. Apply the sealant now. Position the outdoor tunnel frame assembly into the opening on the exterior wall. Check to make sure that the outdoor frame is level. Use screws appropriate for the wall material to secure the outdoor tunnel frame assembly to the exterior wall. You will likely need to pre-drill holes for this step. If you taped a pairing wire in the previous step, position the wire so that it sits neatly into the slot at the top of the outdoor frame. Use additional sealant to fill the wire channel. Seal around the pairing wire, if applicable. Identify the middle tunnel section. The tunnel sections are designed to telescope into one another. The indoor side tunnel section fits into the middle tunnel section, which fits into the outdoor side tunnel section. From the interior, slide the middle tunnel section with the seam up into the outdoor side tunnel section through the opening in the wall. Overlap the tunnel sections by at least 1 inch. Do not fasten yet. From the interior of the wall, slide the indoor tunnel frame assembly into the opening so that the indoor side tunnel section fits into the middle tunnel section, which fits into the outdoor side tunnel section. The middle tunnel section will still not be fastened. Check to make sure the indoor frame is level on the wall. Use screws appropriate for the wall material to secure the indoor frame. Install the screws through the drywall and into the wall stud on one side, and through the drywall into the blocking on the other side. If no blocking was used, employ wall anchors on that side. Position the middle tunnel section so that the overlap is approximately equal on both sides, depending on wall thickness. In some cases, the middle section will be almost completely hidden. Using the 12 provided self-tapping screws, affix the tunnel sections together through the pre-drilled holes. For additional protection, it is recommended to use silicone to seal the edges where the interior sections of the tunnel overlap. Do not apply sealant to the seam behind the lower accessory adapter plate. With the tunnel installation complete, the provided trimmable tunnel liners can be placed on the interior walls of the tunnel to provide a finished look. First, measure the depth of the tunnel between the indoor and outdoor frames. Using the printed guidelines on the backside, cut the liners to size to ensure a straight edge. Next, remove the paper backing from the 12 provided adhesive strips and place them onto the left and right interior wall edges. Ensure the adhesives are not covering any screws. Adhere the liners to each side of the tunnel. Trim the included turf floor to fit your space. The turf fits in the pocket created by the indoor and outdoor frames. If you plan to install the optional awning or the Pawport solar panels, you must first install the mounting bracket. If you do not plan to install either, skip this step and proceed to 9-turning. Using a Phillips head screwdriver, remove the top 2 magnets and their screws from the outdoor frame. Keep magnets and screws together and nearby. Use a Phillips head screwdriver to remove the upper accessory adapter plate from the outdoor frame. If you are installing the solar panel, position the mounting bracket so that the arms of the bracket are facing you. Thread the right angle USB-C end of the connector cable included with the solar panel through the hole in the top right corner of the bracket. The screw-on waterproof connector will not fit through the hole, leaving the bracket hanging on the cable. If you are installing the awning instead of the solar panel, proceed to 820. Use a fish tape or a slender stiff rod to guide the connector cable from the exterior wall through the holes in the slots at the top of the tunnel. Pull it completely through so the wire enters the exterior slot and exits the interior slot. Since the bracket will be hanging on the cable, a second person may be required for this step. With the screws you previously removed, install the mounting bracket in place of the upper accessory adapter plate. If you taped a pairing wire above the frame, thread it through the slot in the mounting bracket and resecure. Be careful not to over-tighten these screws or pinch any wires or cables if used. If you plan to install a Pawport outdoor pet door, you do not need to reinstall the trim magnets or magnetic trim. Proceed to 903. To reinstall the trim magnets, place the magnets in the holes and secure them in place with their screws using a Phillips head screwdriver. Align the magnetic trim with the tunnel opening and press so that the magnets engage and hold the trim in place. Note, you will not be reinstalling the trim cap as that space is now filled by the mounting bracket. Place the awning on top of the mounting bracket with the flat side up. Insert the threaded post on the bottom of the awning through the holes in the mounting bracket. Secure the awning from underneath using the 4 flange nuts and a wrench or pliers. Align the magnetic trim frame with the tunnel opening and press so that the magnets engage and hold the trim in place. Insert the trim cap into the slot at the top of the frame between the magnetic trim frame and the installed wall frame to hide the gap at the top. Note the orientation of the lip on the trim cap, which should cover the top of the wall frame. If you plan to install a Pawport outdoor pet door, or if you already reinstalled the magnetic trim, this step is not needed. Your tunnel and frame system installation is now complete. If you plan to install a Pawport outdoor pet door, continue to the manual included with the outdoor pet door to finish installing your complete system. Before you cut an opening in your door, please note the required clearance zones around the opening as shown. To open the Smart Pet door to the maximum range of 120 degrees, ensure these zones maintain a minimum clearance of 9 inches in front of the door, free of any obstructions, furniture, baseboards, cabinets, doorways, etc. For exterior door installations, minimum door thickness is 9/16 of an inch. There is no maximum door thickness. However, the installer is responsible for ensuring that the core of the door is protected for thick door installs. The provided screws are intended for wooden doors. If you have a steel door, contact Pawport support or consult a professional. Cut an opening in your door now. Identify the indoor frame, which is marked with the letter A. Starting on the interior side of your door, align the indoor frame with the opening. Insert the flanges of the indoor frame into the opening until the frame is flat with the door surface. Use screws appropriate for the door material and door thickness to secure the indoor frame to the door. Identify the outdoor frame. Note that the magnetic trim will be pre-installed. Pull off the magnetic trim and trim cap from the frame and place them to the side. For additional protection, apply silicone sealant along the interior-facing flanges of the outdoor frame to seal the frame to the exterior of the door. Do not seal the bottom flange. Align the outdoor frame with the opening on the exterior side of your door. Insert the flanges of the frame into the opening until the frame is flat with the door surface. Use screws appropriate for the door material and door thickness to secure the outdoor frame to the door. It is also recommended to seal or weatherproof the interior edges of the frames against the core of the door, as well as any exposed door core at the bottom of the frame area. This weatherproofing is left to the installer's discretion. Your tunnel and frame system installation is now complete. If you plan to install a Pawport outdoor pet door, continue to the manual included with the outdoor pet door to finish installing your complete system.